ladies and gentlemen. It's been a full day of conference with informative sessions at the CLMVT Forum 2019, with the Prime Minister joining us in the opening ceremony this morning, highlighting how the Thai government sees the importance, the high potential of the CLMVT region as a new hub of Asian and the global economy. So basically, Thailand believes in a stronger together. Cooperation is very important at this time, and that's why we are here at the forum. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, a big thank you to the Ministry of Commerce. And now I'd like to invite the key person who has been instrumental in putting the event together. She will now be delivering the closing remarks. A big warm welcome for the Director General of the Trade Policy and Strategy Office, Ministry of Commerce, Kun Pimchanok Vonkorpon.
Thank you very much, everybody. And I know that this has been a very long day for everybody. It's been long months for my team. For me, not that long, but for them, it's longer. So I want to keep you as well as them here longer. I just would like to wrap up the session for this year. But just recap, this is, I would like to recap the forum of in 2016 and 2018 before arriving to this year, and then we just recap the common themes of 2019 forum, and then possible collaboration. I will just go through them quickly. Thank you very much for being with us here. So the CLMVT forum is not a negotiating forum or something very structured. We want something very flexible and fluid, where people from different streams, business people, government, thinkers, civil society, and the academics can get together and share their thoughts. But the theme of each year would be the pertinent issues that is important to consider in that year. The first year, the theme was the shared prosperity among CLMVT countries. And the outcome were several things. We agreed to do the CLMVT knowledge tank, which is advising investment and trade. We have the Board of Trade of Thailand pick up on this and implemented it already. They have Advisory Investment and Trade Institute, which is located at the University of at the Thai Chamber of Commerce. This is overseen by the private sector in Thailand. Other issues other undertakings that were results of the first year was executive program. This is overseen by Department of International Trade Promotion at the Ministry of Commerce. For my office, we did two projects. One was on human capital development. We had CLMVT Connects and Startups Mentoring meeting. And we have also the Strategic Partnership for Sister Cities project, the results of which are the mango juice that I showed you earlier, and also the massage oil between Thailand and Myanmar. So there are ongoing projects as a result of the CLMVT forum. For this year, I think we have heard from the panelists on the first day on trade war, as well as many distinguished speakers today. I think the overall theme that CLMVT are facing this year, the economic tensions. We try to avoid using the word trade war. We don't want to imprint our mind with the word war. It's not very positive, isn't it? We have to think positive. We have to think positive and try to embrace the issue as a tension, not a trade war between somebody. But nevertheless, war or tensions, I think, is real. It has implications on export of CLMVT countries, either positively or negatively, but the implications and the impacts are real. Other things are the geopolitical uncertainty that are going on in the world, in different parts of the world, not only in Asia, but in the Middle East and in other countries. Another thing that many speakers touched upon were technological disruption or the changes that are brought upon by technology changes. But so what are the goals of the theme of this year? We try to point out that CLMVT as a region, we can become a trade and investment hub of a new value chain. I think this is a little bit incorrect. Actually, should we be a new value chain hub or hub of new value chain? I think maybe both, but the thing is, given all the challenges above there, there is a need to expand our local economic development through expanding value chains in the regions. That is the core reason why we chose the theme of this year. And, but the value chain would not be realized without actual implementation, and as the Prime Minister pointed out this morning, we need seamless connectivity in the region. Well, just recap of the theme for yesterday and today. Yesterday we heard the speech from Professor Kishore Mahbubani and also the several panelists. The outcome or the study that were put forward by Dr. Sompravin, among others, were very interesting, you know, as also pointed out by my colleagues from Singapore Institute, that there are gaps in CLMVT that we need to address in order to cope with the trade war. And then today we have several overriding themes. We started with a CLMVT strategy by my good colleagues from JP Morgan. I think, I believe he has stirred a lot of discussion and interest, you know, in his presentation this morning. Even my minister asked many questions, and we intend to study further the result of his study. But another thing that the minister panel and other speakers has pointed out is that this is the region of endless opportunities. The sky is the limit. That's a word from one of the ministers, and also I think from the governor. But it doesn't mean that we won't have to do anything. We have to do that in order to realize the potentials that we have. We also talked about trade and investment linkages, getting ready for new form of value chains that have been the speech delivered by the governor of the Bank of Thailand. And of course, he pointed out that with this is, I think not only Dr. Virathai, but also one of the speakers yesterday, this is an opportune time for CLMVT countries. There are changes going on around the world because of the geopolitical factors, because of trade and investment diversion and changing. We have to capture this moment and make it work for us. I think this is a very strong message from all the speakers. It is time, but it needs action. So we also need to learn about the connectivity for success that has been delivered by my old friend, Avio Raymond. We are old friends from ASEAN time, right? 25 years, or, you know, I don't want to say that it shows how old we are, Raymond, but we're still young at heart. And so there are people and companies who are benefiting, you know, from the emerging connectivity in CLMVT, as Raymond video shows. Not only big companies, but MSME are benefiting from the linkages too. So I think I will skip this. So just a recap quickly of what has been the key messages, key deliverable from the speakers. Okay, we talked about the potentials of CLMVT, that we have a sizable market and growing labor force. We are strategically located, and we have complementary strength. I think this is another important key message. We don't have to compete. Like Dr. Sompravin's study pointed out, there are so many activities even in one production value chain that we can distinct, we can we can participate in different activities in just one production of one product. So we don't have to compete, but we have to find the complementary points and how we can strengthen together. Another key issue that many speakers and even the Prime Minister talked at length was digitalization of trade and investment. I think this is the trend that is very important. Of course, value chain connectivity. This is the overriding theme of CLMVT Forum 2019. And in the beginning, I was a bit apprehensive that would anybody understand why we're putting forward the issue of value chain building in CLMVT. But even the Prime Minister understood it, you know. I was very relieved. He said that why we chose this theme is because we don't want to produce just first step and then send it, export it to other countries to be made into second, third, fourth step. We want to do as many steps as possible in the value chain. And that is exactly the concept of this. So I'm very relieved that the Prime Minister understood it completely, you know. And so that is, I think there are opportunities for us to find out in what value chain for what products or services that we can combine our strength together. And ASEAN is special, of course. CLMVT Forum, we are part of ASEAN. You know, there's never been a question about that. But the key characteristic that we share in common is that we have shared borders on the continent, and we are strategically located closer to China, to India. And that's why we could find our common strength, but it doesn't mean that we are getting out of ASEAN or we don't care about ASEAN. No, ASEAN is the forum that provides rules and regulations. Here we are finding ideas and sharing the potentials. So another issue that were discussed throughout was the FDI relocation, particularly from China or from other countries in search of lower risks given the present climate of economic uncertainty. And last but not least, there are many special economic zones throughout CLMVT, not only in Thailand and Vietnam, but in others as well. So, well, I have talked about this already, so just maybe touch on one or two more that I have not talked earlier. Of course, the trade tension. We have talked about that. Disrupted global economy and trade. ASEAN value chain dilemma that we tend to produce similar products and services. We need to make more distinction. And then non-tariff measures, which remain important barriers in the CLMVT region. But also, I think since yesterday, several speakers, and as well as this morning and the afternoon, we talked about the challenges on soft infrastructure for CLMVT, particularly rules and regulations and human capital development. We still need to fill this gap, and these soft infrastructure. I think Kun Douglas and one of the panel talked about having maybe you or to Raymond. Physical infrastructure is not enough. It is good to be there. It's good to we have to make use of it. But there are soft infrastructure such as digital, human, and some other things, regulation that needs to be strengthened as well for CLMVT to realize our potential. I'm go through very quickly. So what are the way forward that came out of the discussion? We need to find balance. I think the key word is balance. I think yesterday we were talking about having been forced to choose side. But no, I think the key issue is finding balance between the two, the major powers, how we can survive and thrive in the midst of the trade tension. We have to continue our liberal rule-based system and orders. We have to find and complement each other's strength, enhance connectivity, promote the services sector, which is, I think I'll touch a bit longer here. Especially the governor of the Bank of Thailand, he is very he's very certain that the driving force in the future of CLMVT as well as ASEAN will be service sector, because manufacturing sector will experience automation and onshoring and reshoring. So the activities, capital, technology may go home, because they would need fewer human in the factory. So labor intensive factory will become less and less in the future. And therefore, we have to start now focusing on liberalizing and strengthening our service sector. Of course, intellectual property, this was the message loud and clear from Kun Aditya from JP Morgan, that now intellectual property has become the number one determining factor for investors to invest in CLMVT or any other countries. Human resource, this is a big challenge. We need to reskill, upskill, have lifelong learning, and become a truly single production base in accordance with AEC blueprint. This statement was posed by my minister, Kun Chutima. So I have come to the last slide. Thank you for your time. And next year, Cambodia has agreed to host the CLMVT Forum 2020. So this is most likely the last year you will see me here. And I think it's good because every year I look at my face in the video, I have bigger and bigger face as I gain more and more weight. You know, I think it's time for me to stop. So this year I would not call it deliverables, because we are not going to do all this. But from the three forums that we have organized, I think there are clear and emerging trends that are appearing in CLMVT forum. One is I propose for the private sector to have the CLMVT trade associations. This is not to replace your activities, but I think I know for sure that in Thailand we have like bilateral a friendship association with our neighbors, and I'm sure several countries have the same, but why not have 5 countries together? Today's theme, we talked about different value chain activities that we can discuss and to say maybe this country can do this one better than that. I'm not saying that it has to be well, it will have to be decided by investors and business people. I don't think the choice of investing and undertaking different activities in value chain is upon the government. It's not the government job. It is the private sector. You have to go and think. So I propose that perhaps you can have a forum like this where you can talk about that in terms of trade association that has been proposed, not proposed, but Kun Douglas Fu talked at length that perhaps the mechanism of having trade association will be useful for future collaboration. Second possible thing that I propose is to have services foresight group. Okay, the governor clearly talked about services liberalization, but as I'm a service negotiator, you know, ages ago in my previous life, I know that it is not easy, but I also recognize that digital development has a lot of impact on services, how we deliver services, how customers utilize services. It has now opened up new possibilities, new opportunities that I think CLMVT country has to embrace services. So why not just maybe get together, have in-depth discussion, you know, foresight. I'm talking about foresight because don't get stuck in the present. Look to the future. We think about what kind of future services that we can utilize and can use. So maybe this is just a baby step, but let's get together and see the implication, understanding what is happening because of changing in technology that affects services. Third one is, I got this idea from Dr. Sompravin, who is very capable. Thank you, Dr. Men. He has proposed in his recent research paper that the platform economy is coming. Platform economy is like, I think the governor talked about it at length. where it's a platform in internet where you do different things together, such as maybe e-commerce that Kunjaripon talked about, have CLMVT e-commerce platform, or we have a sharing economy done in platform too. But the platform format will reduce cost and bring customer and producer closer together. And I think it will have powerful impact on the development of CLMVT in the future. So, but I also recognize that it is not easily done, as Raymond just pointed out, that platform, fully functioning platform will require uniform access to internet at cheap cost, you know. So maybe at this time, the full platform among CLMVT countries are not possible, but we should start thinking about it. And I leave this to the young generation, how to build platform for the Bank of Thailand already have e-payment ASEAN platform. Maybe in CLMVT we can have e-commerce platform. Let's start discussing about it. Digital, I think for many participants from Vietnam, from China, and from Myanmar who came here were very interested and engaged in digital sector. I think this is an area that is ripe for future discussion. And for this, my office volunteer to do it. Maybe we can do CLMVT Digital Forum. I leave the year open because I might not be here. But I think this is something that even other countries not doing, I think Thailand can do it. You know, let's get people engaged in digital sector, digital economy come together. Already startup mentoring, we have done this this past year. My office is considering whether we can do it. I think it has a great success. And last point, human resource development. I think I'm not proposing this as something that we can do, but I think there are many human resource development initiatives in the region already, like Mekong Institute, one of the institutes that provide assistance on human development. So I think we just need to consolidate and find where the gaps are. Yeah? So I think that's the important issue. My final message here is doing this for 4 years, I'm very convinced, and I have a strong belief in the future of CLMVT together. But having said that, CLMVT is not, how shall I put it? We have traditional industries, we have traditional business, we have traditional people who are engaged in agriculture, who needs help, who would not be marginalized. And you know, we think we have to think about them too when we try to push the region forward in the future. But it is because we are already in the age where technology is moving so fast. Why don't we use the technology to help the traditional sector, traditional base, and combine it with the modern and young outlook, like services and technology. What I'm trying to say is that we have traditional sectors, even you know, not only farmers in agriculture, but even the manufacturing sector who are not who may not have embraced the new technological development yet. We cannot leave them behind. I'm not trying to be the Prime Minister. But we cannot leave anyone behind. In the development, we need to take anybody on board, but we can use technology to help them. And we have young people in the region who would be happy, and they should think broadly about the all sectors, not only new technology or fintech. I think I have my friend here from Vietnam who's doing social business for Vietnam ใช่ไหมคะกัมพูชา no Vietnam นะคะค่ะ yeah he's using technology to help train farmers and young and other I don't want to say less fortunate sector, but okay, people who need help. So I think there are powerful tools that we can use to help that. So we can, CLMVT, we can combine traditional with forward and young outlook. And my final message is that this year we have participants from 14 countries. So much much more than the first time we organized it. This is to show that we are not, we have to remain open. We have to think about collaboration with other countries. We are not going to just close down and think that we can do everything by ourselves. No, we have our natural endowment, we have our own strength, but we have to work with others. Collaboration, not only in Asia region or the regional collaboration, but we are happy to collaborate with everybody. So when I come back to the title of CLMVT from the new value chain hub of Asia, I think I just want to retitle a bit. We will be open hub of the future. I want CLMVT to be traditional but have outward and forward looking. We have digital, we have startup in the region. We can do it together, help each other, and so we will be a hub of the future, not the future hub. We are already a hub, and we will be hub of the future. So that's my final message. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to Director General คุณ Pimchanok Vonkorpon